All right, so all the kiddos can come up here to me. We don't blow out candles. All the kiddos. Yes, Asher, please. And Cooper, please. And Emilia, please. And where's Sophia?
Are we lighting matches?
No. No, hold on. Okay, so before we do anything, this is Miss Katja. And Miss Katja sings a song that we already know. Here's Sophia. Sophia, you need to come too.
Who's 13 and younger here? No one? Okay.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Do you hear it?
Yes.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Okay, so we have a Torah for all of you who like Torah services on Friday nights. And now I want to invite Henry here and Zivi for the honor of lighting the Shabbat candles with us. Do you have that orange candle? Oh. Oh. Perfect. No, this is great. Woohoo. It's a little shorter than usual. Okay. Okay. And okay. So I am going to light the orange candle. Then Zivi's going to light the first candle. Then Henry's going to get the orange candle, step on the step stool, and light the second candle. You don't need the step stool? That is amazing. Let's do it. Okay. So, Zivi, we do not touch the fire. The fire is very hot. And you know what's the difference between the candles we just lit and the candles in here? Those candles are for the entire community. Can you look at all the grown-ups who sit here? Do you see how many grown-ups there are?
Still on fire when you put it in there.
Okay, perfect, Zivi. And Henry, careful. Oh, good.
Oh no.
Perfect.
Let's do that.
Okay,
Blow that out.
thank you. And we always teach that then we gather the light with our hands and palms, and we gather it to our eyes until we feel warm and soft and calm. And then we sing the prayer together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שלום. welcome to our first intergenerational beginning of Shabbat. So we're going to do this a little differently. And I want to invite everybody here for a cup of either wine or grape juice and a piece of challah. And if Mr. Cody is here, you want to have wine?
Yeah.
Who said you would get wine? You are not going to get wine. No, I said either wine or grape juice. And the kids will definitely get grape juice. So, anybody who wants wine or grape juice for Kiddush, please join us here for a moment. I might have enough. Can one grown-up get up? Yes, thank you. And help me with the wine, because I don't think Mr. Cody understood that we would need that right away, which is pretty wild. We're going to start the service with this. Okay, so for all of you, this is grape juice, yes, who want a piece of anything, please come here. The wine and the grape juice is going to come around. Okay, perfect. And who wants to do this with me? Cooper.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen L'chaim. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We need more wine. I see there. There's much more wine needed in this corner.
I need wine.
You do not need wine.
Yes, I do. Wine is strictly required for me.
And this is the most special thing. And all the grown-ups, I highly recommend that next time you come here, because you are missing the spectacle of the day. So everyone gets a little piece. Ida, grape juice. Grape juice. Amazing. Yes, thank you. And
It's just like I wanted.
and there's
Asher, stop.
okay.
Can I have a glass cup? Can I use a glass cup?
No. Asher, I'm serious. You cannot drink that wine. Okay.
Can I use a glass cup?
Yeah. And now, everybody, come and please put one finger on the challah. And if you're a grown-up, put your finger on someone who puts their finger on the challah, so that we're all making a big web of people around the challah. Grown-ups, a little closer. I don't think you're connected to this challah.
There you go.
And we're trying to teach the kids that it is an incredible gift each Shabbat to have either the challah or someone who touches the challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And everybody take a piece, a big one. Also for the little people, a big one. Okay, good. And for the kids, you should know that in the next weeks, everybody here will learn how to make challah. If you want to hang out a little bit, hang out. I saw that. Perfect. And okay, wonderful. Okay, and now Suzanne. Thank you. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai nai 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat
Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. And this is an invitation to the families. Stay as long as you wish. And if it's time to go home and have dinner, go home and have dinner. And for all the others, I love seeing you too. Oh, you love seeing him. I love seeing him too. We are on page 124. May the door. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough. 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Shabbat Shalom. So this was a little different. It will impact you in the way that we're doing Kiddush first, and then you have challah and wine and grape juice to nash from for the rest of the service, if you want to. It will also bring to you the kids of this community and their family, and I hope you enjoy meeting them. I was thinking we would have tonight 2 visitors, David and Ellen from Florida, who have just lost their son Mark. We have had a little bit of back and forward because some people didn't seem to know that they're members. Hold on, I'm just gonna. But they are, and they actually said they would come tonight. So if they are coming tonight, let's just welcome them. I think it's been years that they've been to Bozeman in person. And whatever triggered them to go on a journey after losing their son, if they come here, let's embrace them with open arms. And let me also just say, Jane, you look fabulous. We should all go to Croatia more often. Croatia, I think you say. It's a wonderful thing. So, we are welcoming Shabbat on page 139, and I do want to say, we have this little chair here, and we have a music stand, but Kyle got COVID. So, it is just me tonight, and this is just what it is. And I hope you'll forgive me for being singing and talking nonstop. I hope very much that in 2 weeks, Kyle is back with us. 136. Mizmor leDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod v'oznai, Havu l'Adonai, Kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai, Be'adrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el kavodim Adonai al mayim rabim Kol Adonai ba'koach nay 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 Kol Adonai ישמר אדוני את עזי הלבנון ויקידם כמו עגל לבנון וציון כמו בן רמים ני 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 כל אדוני חוצב לעבוד אש כל אדוני יכיל מדבר יכיל אדוני מדבר קודש כל אדוני יכול להילות ויחשוף יערות ובחלו כולו אומר כבוד ני 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 אדוני למבול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום יין עין 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 יין עין 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 יין עין 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 yai nai 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 138 ya na 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 lecha dodi ya na 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 likrat kala ya na 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 penei shabbat nekabela שמו וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה יין עיני יין עיני לך דודי יין עיני לקראת כלה יין עיני פני שבת פני שבת nekabela verse 5 התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה יין עיני יין עיני לך דודי יין עיני לקראת כלה יין עיני פני שבת פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצוהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה יין עיני יין עיני לך דודי יין B'nei Shabbat nekabela. 140. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Uzamer לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High. Please join me on page 145. There's a reading. It's a poem by Leah Goldberg, translated into English. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. And if you're able, please rise, page 146, for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. El chai vekayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, amariv aravim, who brings on evening. 150. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Shema Yisrael, we say, listen Israel, listen. And traditionally, Jews have a much deeper relationship to listening than they have to seeing. That might have something to do with the being forbidden of any images of God. Images, per definition, were almost something suspicious to begin with. But there is also something embedded in the Torah that says over and over, listen, listen. Don't follow your eyes. Don't follow all kinds of desires. You might want this. You might desire that. Don't look right or left. Listen, listen to the voice inside. So it's an interesting thing that our Torah portion this week begins with the word re'eh, which literally means look, see. See, I have put before you the blessings and the curses. And it is up to you. One of the most famous stories in Judaism is the story about giving of the Torah. And this is an experience in which we learn from the rabbis. The Israelites saw the word of God, and they heard lightning. So everybody was mystified. Did they listen? Did they look? What happened there? And what we learn from this story, I think, especially for this moment in time, because we're heading into Micha Mocha, and I like to talk about this moment in time before singing Micha Mocha, is that at this time of the year, we need all our senses. We need to look, we need to listen. Maybe we even need to reach out and touch. We need to listen deep inside to maybe the things we only can sense, even though we don't even know with which of our senses, to reach deeper and deeper and get a full sense of how we are in this space. Page 158. Just imagine yourself on the journey into the month of Elul, the journey into the month of the high holidays, the journey with the scroll, whatever it wants to tell you. It is very busy. And just imagine you're walking with yourself. How are you walking today? That's the wrong melody, sorry. Kyle literally told me like an hour before the service that he wouldn't come. nai nai, yana nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, norat hilod osefele, norat hilod osefele, malchutecha ahuvanecha, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ינאי נאי 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 נאי, ינאי נאי נאי נאי, ינאי נאי 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 נאי, ינאי נאי נאי נאי, ינאי נאי נאי נאי, ינאי נאי נאי נאי, ינאי נאי 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 נאי, ינאי נאי נאי nine. Can we do it? Nine 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 nine. Yana nine 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 nine. Yana nine 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 nine. Yana 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 nine nine nine. No one said you should walk slowly. So, please read one more reading with me. And then I wanted to ask you to listen for just a little time. 155. 155. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Look, there is ahead of you blessing and curses. Humans, I feel like, especially lately, have real difficulties imagining a better world. It is really hard, I think. It is very hard to come up with a succinct vision for the Middle East and Africa. It is quite hard to imagine what a real power equilibrium should look like between China and Russia, India, Europe, and the US. It seems almost impossible to actually envision a world in which there is peace for everyone who lives on it. It seems so daunting to even try to envision this, that it seems easier to fall into deep despair and sadness, or on the other hand, into dark cynicism, or to just ignore the question altogether. We are so helpless. In all honesty, what can we do? What would it even take? Would it take a brilliant strategy? Would it take inspiration, maybe God-inspired? Wisdom, the brainstorming of the smartest people on the planet? Or a situation so dire that humanity would be in such great despair that for once there would be no visible reason for even more violence? I was taught once that there were about 43 days in the history since we started counting without any reported military conflicts. And those were the 43 days right after the end of the Second World War. In the Hebrew Bible, if we're looking for images of what peacefulness would look like, it makes a lot of sense to go to the prophets. Because if there are any people credited with the ability to have real visions,
It's the prophets, you would think. I want to introduce you to 3 of them on one leg. And they're different, very different approaches to what they did when they were faced with a world in which they could only despair or laugh or try to ignore what was going on. The first one is Ezekiel. He lived in the 6th century BCE. It was not a good century. The second temple was destroyed. He witnessed the expulsion of the Jews from the land of Israel and Judah. And what did he do? He didn't look outside. He went to be alone, all by himself. He was a loner. He was seeking God and answers at night. And God came and spoke to him at night in a nightly encounter. Or mortal is the place of my throne. And God showed it to him. And the place for the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the people Israel forever. The house of Israel and their kings must not again defile my holy name by their apostasy and by the corpses of their kings at their death. God for Ezekiel is a nightly visitor who takes him on a journey up to the 7th heaven and let him look at the entire globe and says, one day I will come and all these wars will end, and I will erect my throne here in Jerusalem on all the different layers of Jerusalem, and you will testify to my glory. Ezekiel went home. He didn't say, feed the hungry. He didn't say, let's re-erect this house and find a king. He said, you must know one day all this will be over. God will come. There will be peace. The second one is very different. His name is Amos. I think you call him Amos. He is 1 generation earlier. He did not witness the total destruction of his world, but he was witnessing a world in which every kind of social norm and religious, spiritual value that he upheld, he saw them betrayed. But let justice well up like water, righteousness like an unfailing stream. Amos is a prophet for the people on earth. He doesn't have visions of God's throne. He has visions of people being just. He cries out against injustice, despotism, tyranny, wrong taxation, people who do not care anymore what kind of lives they're living. And he calls upon them, listen, listen, you must fix your ways, because the world you are creating is deeply wrong and rotten from the start. And then the third one is one which we invite, especially on the day of Yom Kippur. Like Ezekiel, he witnessed the destruction of the first temple. He sees it right there. We have a description of him staring at the ruins and pebbles of what once was the greatest sanctuary in his world. And he turns to the people whom he knows are guilty for what happened, and who are trying very hard to make up for it somehow for God. They're saying, we did wrong. Justice did not bubble up like water, well up like water. Justice was hard to find in the world we have created. How can we do better? And what he says is, no, stop fasting, because this is the fast I desire. To unlock fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, to clothe them and not to ignore your own king. Justice is not an abstract value. It is something very graspable. It is something political. It echoes in every single deed we do every day. How do we connect with others? How do we connect with those who have less than we do? How do we connect with those who are radically different? How do we recognize our humanities? So here we are, looking at those three prophets. You can see them in many medieval depictions. Ezekiel always looks a little shaken by the nightly visions, I assume. Amos is always fierce and screams for justice. And Isaiah is always the calm preacher trying to convince the people to the right political actions. And we might stare at them and think, who's right? The one who doesn't care and just waits for God? The one who becomes angry and fierce and screams for justice? Or the teacher who tries over and over to send the right messages? And that's just a side note, but the prophet Isaiah is like 10 times as long as the others. We might wait for the end of time. And sometimes I think a surprising amount of people are there who just wait. And we hand over responsibility. And we accept that indeed, more often than not, we're pretty helpless to change the broad and political trajectory of our planet. We're waiting for God or destiny to become an active entity that will, at least at the end of time, whenever that will be, determine our destiny. The Hasidic masters, the mysticisms of our time, they said, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar me'od, v'ha'ikar lo litfached. The entire world is a narrow bridge. Don't worry too much about it. Do not panic. Do not infuse fear into yourself. Just walk. The end of time will come. Doesn't matter what you do. Or we might begin with very small changes, as recommended by the prophet Amos, living by our own values, not looking too much left and right, being true to the vision of our own best selves, and knowing that we might do the best we value, even though it will never be enough. But we carry full responsibility for our own actions and the eventual destiny of our planet. The rabbis coined a sentence also for this. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. It's not up to you to finish. It doesn't matter if your values will, in the end, lead to the outcome that you want. Do the best you can. Act upon your own convictions. And this is the best you can do. And then there's a third way. Work hard and tirelessly to change the course of history by becoming active in politics, lobbyism, environmentalism, activism, whatever it is, knowing that at each point in time, we will have done the absolute maximum of what we could have done, independent of the question whether or not the last day will or will not come according to the will of an entity separate from us. Aleinu, we sing almost at the end of every service. It's on us, now, not tomorrow, now. Or we might do a mix of these. And I think many of us, we go in circles. Sometimes we give up. Sometimes we give 100%. Sometimes we give 150, and then we're tired. So on this Shabbat Re'eh, the Shabbat of looking and seeing, we read these famous words. See, this day, today, I set before you blessings and curses. Blessing if you obey the commandments of your God Adonai, that I enjoin upon you this day, and curse if you do not obey the commandments of your God Adonai, but turn away from the path
that I enjoin upon you this day and follow other gods whom you have not experienced. When we look into the future, maybe in 3 months from now, or maybe in 5 years from now, and maybe I should see if we look into the future at all, we never just look. We are projecting the lessons from our past into the future. We assume that certain things will happen because of things that have happened to us in the past. This is sadly the way we imagine anything. It is how our brains work. However, let's just test ourselves for a couple of moments. When envisioning a future, let's not forget to also be hopeful. When holding ourselves and others up to our standards and values, let's establish a minimal standard of care. When imagining our possibilities, let's not assume we will fail. Because if we assume that, we are already failing. For centuries, our people have uttered in different occasions during services a sentence that keeps on returning to me for I think now 3 years, and I don't really know why. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח, ואף על פי שיתמהה, אם כן, עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. I believe with entire faith and trust in the coming of the Messiah. And even if he's a little bit late, still, I am waiting for him every day that he will come. I do not necessarily believe in the Messiah. I don't think he will come. But there is something to be said about our people that are so often called stubborn and stiff-necked. In the face of miracles or in the face of the greatest catastrophe that this globe has ever seen, who have uttered the sentence over and over again, Ani ma'amin, I believe. And even if he's a little late, I will live each day as if he would come today. And I think living in this hope and in this stubbornness of not giving up of the possibility of a future of peace, this is what this Shabbat can teach us. Look and listen. There is a possibility for peace. Shabbat Shalom. And if you're able, please rise 164 for the silent Amidah. You can use the words on the page. 2 weeks ago I said you can wander around. You can listen to your own still voice. I do also want to take a moment. Thank you, Kyle, for making me sound good. And thank you, Katya, for bringing us into this service with a very new and beautiful voice on this bima, and maybe hear much more of it. 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, may my mouth may declare your praise. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imu amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imu amen. Please be seated. Please join me one more time on page 377. 377. I'm sorry. 373. I, the Eternal, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light of nations. We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people. We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power. You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else. We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. You shall not oppress your neighbors, nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbors bleed. We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace. Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children. We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth. 377. If you want to, please rise. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, who marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzu Yisrael v'golo. Avinu, Avinu, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. And on page 371 is the Mishiberach for the sick. Janelle and Diane had surgeries this week. Lisa and Kyle are down with COVID. Are there any other people you would like to mention to bring? Billy, do you want to mention yourself, Cody?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm good. No,
Okay. Anybody else you want to? Kate. Claire. Page 371, expanding our visions to a world in which there is no pain. Mi shebeach avoteinu mekol bracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeach imoteinu mekol bracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. I want to invite you to remain standing for page 598. We're going to say Kaddish in the name of the family for Max, and you will find his name again in the next newsletter. I also want to say Kaddish for those 6 corpses that were found in Gaza this week, for the 3 soldiers that were killed this week, for the many nameless victims that I don't even know what to say anymore at this point. It just never ends. Is there anybody else who wants to add a name of a loved one because of a yard site or just because something made you think of them? Kevin. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחי יכון וביום יכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יש שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יש לאמרה בה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו amen. May their memories be for a blessing. Please be seated for a moment. Before we sing Shalom Aleichem, just imagine for a moment both the blessings and the curses, both the ones that have been found dead and also the father of 5 who has been found alive. And if you want to watch a very moving video, watch the video of his family members running through the hospital tracts to greet him after 9 months. So, the dark angels and the light angels, page 627. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בחוני לשלום מלכי השלום מלכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בוקם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And if you feel like doing that, just take yourself a little closer to yourself. And if you feel like it, take the hand of the person next to you. They won't mind as much as you think, I can promise. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and protect you. May God's light shine upon you, and may his protective wings embrace you. May you walk in light and protection every single step of your way. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Orevo Shalom Aleinu. Orevo Shalom Aleinu. Orevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Sharon is not here, and Randy is not here. So, announcements. Yes, announcements. Good. You have some announcements. Make announcements. Because the Hebrew class is starting again next Friday, 12 p.m., only on Zoom. It is explicitly open to everyone in the Montana Jewish community. So we will also have some people, I don't know how many, from Helena, and all the people who started Hebrew at some point. You're welcome back, because we're starting again with the alphabet. So there's no reason to worry. September 6th, 12 p.m., just on Zoom. You can do it from your house.
On Sunday, September 8th, from 10 a.m. until noon, Phil Niedringhouse, our wonderful security guy from the Secure Community Network, is going to be here with us and with any friends you'd like to invite to give us a training on being a greeter, being a welcomer. And my take is that whenever a Jew walks into a Jewish space, each one of us is a greeter. We are not only welcoming people, but we're also keeping track, wanting to make sure that all the people who come into our building or come into any other space where you might find yourself are really supposed to be there. Now, I know that a lot of people think, well, okay, but what would I say if I noticed somebody who shouldn't be here? And we've got a couple people in our congregation who are putting together some statements that each of us might have, because of course how we are socially is, yes, of course we want to welcome people, but there are sometimes people who haven't made arrangements to be here, who are, I'm not talking about people who are likely to harm us physically necessarily, but people who might be here to, how shall we say this? Baptize us, yes, exactly. There have been some people at Torah Study who have come wanting to baptize us, and right, with good intentions, and of course, because we are all very kind people, we don't know what to say to some stranger who accompanies us from the parking lot. So come to Phil's training on a week from this Sunday, September 8th, from 10 a.m. until noon. Register. Rabbi Sonia sent out an announcement, so register with her so that we know how many people are going to be here. Have your friends registered. One of the women in our congregation, and I won't tell you her name, found herself, she's been to 3 of Phil Niedringhouse's various trainings. She was at her doctor's office, and as she was waiting to check in, she was standing between 2 men, one of whom was starting an altercation with the man in front of her. The man behind her escalated it to the extent of saying, "I have a gun and I can shoot you." And she, who was a wonderful, warm woman and also very curious about what might happen, remembered Phil, and she said, "I know where the exit is," and she walked out the door. So please, everybody come, because you never know who is going to try to baptize you or maybe threaten somebody standing around you. Thanks.
And on this happy note, there is more challah, there is more grape juice, there is more wine. Please stay as long as you wish. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Lynn, for organizing.